at home with the pandemic. And to help us introduce Shelly tonight, we've invited my friend Carol Tang. She's from Vancouver, right?
Yes. Yes, you're right.
Yes. From Burnaby, and she has an amazing story with USANA. Like, USANA's always been about health. That is, we want to create the healthiest family on earth. And Carol's family, in the beginning, at the beginning of her story, just wasn't an extremely healthy family. She has 3 beautiful daughters, but they were always sick. They were, with allergies and some life-threatening situations, even in and out of the hospital all the time, and really struggling. And that when they, fell into USANA, that when they happened upon USANA or shared USANA with, it really helped them become less sick, more active, and find a new lease on life. And then she discovered a whole new passion of sharing this opportunity and this amazing company with other people. Now she benefits from promoting 3 generations of good health and wealth. So we're very, very happy to have Carol with us tonight as a co-host. Carol, would you like to take it away?
Yeah, thank you for your introduction. That's my really vision, to share the healthy lifestyle with everyone. I'm glad to see the families gathering together, celebrate all the occasions. And please allow me to introduce tonight our guest speaker, our on-site scientist, Shelly Baxter. If you know on her the screen, you can see her, right? And she looks familiar, very familiar. Have you remembered her on the 2020 convention? She gave us a wonderful, excited secret tour for the new facility, right? But now I'm going to tell you more story about her. And Shelly, she is a microbiologist, and she has begun her career with USANA in operations. And now it was her passion for healthy aging that led her to recently earn a Master of Science degree in Human Nutrition and a Functional Medicine at the University of Western States. And I've just heard she had studied over 30 different diets and followed them, And then she learned to take an individualized approach to apply nutritional and lifestyle interventions in the prevention and the treatment of chronic disease. And Shelly recently joined USANA's marketing team as the Executive Director of Global Nutrition Programs. She will put her passion and knowledge to work creating a comprehensive, healthy, and wellness system to help everyone around the world in their wellness journey. Her dream is to continue to build the healthiest family on earth. Let's give a big applause to Shelly.
Thank you, everyone. I'll start my presentation here. Can everybody see my screen?
You're all good, Shelly. Ready to rock.
Great. Wonderful. Well, hello, everybody. Thank you for taking time out of your busy day, whatever time it may be for you, to talk about intuitive eating. This is something that I am very passionate about because this is what I practice in my own life. So let's jump right into it. If it'll let me advance my slides. Of course, it works when we practice and not in, there we go, not in practice. So what exactly is intuitive eating? Intuitive eating, simply put, is eating when you are hungry and stopping when you are full. It focuses on listening to your body's hunger cues instead of following a prescribed plan for when to eat. It also emphasizes the difference between physical hunger and emotional hunger. Intuitive eating focuses on enjoying food instead of labeling foods as either good or bad. This may sound opposite of what we hear from diet experts. Research shows that you are less likely to crave a forbidden food, and I say that in parentheses, forbidden food, if you simply allow yourself to eat it without judgment. It's perfectly fine to enjoy an occasional treat. Now, I do have one slight disclaimer there. This may not apply to persons who are following a prescribed diet from their healthcare practitioner for health reasons. So if this is you, please follow your prescribed diet. Intuitive eating also encourages body positivity by recognizing just how beautiful and capable your body is right now instead of feeling critical about it. Now, we were all born intuitive eaters. Think about babies. Babies cry when they're hungry, and then when they're full, they turn their heads away to let you know. Picture a toddler. They're intuitive eating pros. They refuse to eat their lunch, and then an hour later, they're complaining that they're hungry. Or they ask for more food, they take one bite, and then they don't finish the rest. Does this sound familiar? This behavior can be very frustrating to parents. I have 5 children of my own, and I recall feeling frustrated many, many times. However, when you examine this behavior in toddlers, you'll see that it's intuitive eating in action. So in order for us adults to return to intuitive eating, we need to get back in touch with that toddler inside each of us. So to summarize, there are many benefits to intuitive eating. Intuitive eating fosters a healthy, positive relationship with food. Intuitive eating promotes a positive body image. Intuitive eating encourages mindful eating. When researchers looked at data from over 24 cross-sectional studies that involved over 10,000 adults of all ages, all genders, all cultures, all ethnicities, they found that intuitive eating was associated with a more positive body image, better emotional function, and less disordered eating and dieting practices. So how do we practice intuitive eating? Well, eating intuitively relies on listening to your body's hunger and satiety cues. So let's get a little sciencey here and review what's happening inside of our bodies. So when our stomachs are empty, they produce the hunger hormone ghrelin. Ghrelin sends a signal to the brain telling through the vagus nerve, telling you that you are hungry. Now this is your gut-brain axis in action. Your stomach may also be rumbling, you also may be feeling a little lightheaded or irritable or tired. These hunger signals cause you to go seek out food. But it's important not to ignore these physical hunger signals too long because you may become hangry. And then you might be tempted to wolf down whatever food is handy instead of eating something that you really want. Now, as you eat, your stomach fills and it stretches. It stops making as much ghrelin. That stretch signal tells your brain that you are full. And then when the food enters your small intestine from your stomach, it produces another stretch signal. However, this doesn't happen right away. It can take 20 minutes or more for your brain to realize you are full and it's time to stop eating. Eating too quickly doesn't allow this feedback loop sufficient time to work, making it easy to overeat without even realizing it. So, this is where eating mindfully comes into play. Now, picture the last time you enjoyed a leisurely, quiet meal without interruption. If this sounds too good to be true, you're not alone. Eating on the run has become a normal part of modern day life. Busy, busy, busy. We eat in our cars, on our way to the next meeting, guilty, or while we are working on our computers, also sometimes guilty. Have you ever eaten mindlessly as you've tried to catch up on Instagram, Facebook, all those text messages? How about while binge watching your favorite TV show, especially in these times? Distracted eating doesn't allow you to fully enjoy your food. So you may not feel satisfied and you may keep on eating in an attempt to gain satisfaction. Mindful eating is the practice of fully focusing on your food as you eat. So try sitting down at a clutter-free table. Put away those technology devices. Turn off that TV. Take a few minutes to arrange your food pleasantly. Then engage all your senses. Notice how your food looks. What does it smell? How does it taste? Notice how it even feels as you're chewing it and how it sounds. Savor each bite you take without feeling any guilt. Chew slowly and pace yourself. Try to make your meal last at least 20 minutes so your body has time to produce those fullness signals. Before you help yourself to seconds or even dessert, ask yourself, am I really still hungry? Lastly, if you are experiencing emotional hunger, then honor your feelings without food by meditating, journaling, taking a walk, or calling a friend. Emotional hunger is usually a sudden craving for a comforting food in response to your feelings, such as stress or sadness. Here are two examples of individuals that illustrate the difference between simply enjoying a treat and responding to emotional hunger. I had a friend, and she had finished her third marathon in a very short time period. She ate, and then she enjoyed every single bite. That's somebody who is enjoying an occasional treat. Now contrast that with this other example. I have a friend, and she lives alone and doesn't have a partner, and it was her birthday. And her grown children, he forgot to call her and wish her a happy birthday. And she was feeling really sad. So she went to the store and she bought her favorite cake and she took it home. And then she ate almost the entire cake. And she came and talked to me and she felt really bad about eating the cake. And I said, well, what kind of cake was it? And she said, oh, it was my favorite cake. It was a German chocolate. I said, wow, did you enjoy it at least? And she said, no, I don't even remember what it tasted like. And I don't think it tasted very good. And it didn't make me feel very happy. That is an example of emotional hunger. So intuitive eating, sum it up, is instinctive. We know best what our bodies need, but we may have just lost touch with the cues because we just hadn't been listening to them. So this is the time to channel your inner toddler and trust your own body. Thank you for joining me tonight. in this webinar on intuitive eating. This has been a real privilege to speak to you about this subject. And this webinar series has just been an amazing series. I watched all 3 presentations, and it's an absolute honor to wrap this series up with this presentation on intuitive eating. So enjoy the rest of your day, and thank you.
Oh, thank you,
Well,
Shelley.
Shelley, that was amazing. That was
It was
really,
like-
really good. Eh, go ahead, Carol.
All right, you know, I read some articles, but your clearly explanation and with your examples, it makes more sense how we make decisions when we face carvings or eating. You know, there are so many questions coming from the chat box and a Q&A. May I ask you some questions? I'm
Sure.
going to pick. Okay, the first one. So it says everything is fast right now, and life needs, you know, to be 5G and supercharged or express, right? We line up for coffee even. So how can intuitive eating help us with weight management? We sit at home a lot right now.
That is so true. Well, intuitive eating can help with weight management by preventing overeating, as we talked about earlier. So when we take the time to eat more slowly and allow our bodies to produce that signal that says that we're finished eating, then that prevents us from overeating. And also when we pay attention to what we're eating and we get satisfaction from what we're eating, that also prevents us from overeating. So intuitive eating is a really great way to help manage weight.
I will definitely try it. Chew it slowly and enjoy each bite. So there's another question. It's here. It says, if we eat like toddlers and listen to our bodies, does it mean to eat any food at any time when we feel hungry? Or how can we know when is our real hunger point?
Oh, that's a great question. That's a 2-part question. So when we eat like a toddler, does that mean we can eat anything we want when we're feeling hungry? Oh, how I wish that were the case. However, intuitive eating is not really a license to eat whatever you want. We all know that eating whole foods instead of processed foods is better for us. And we should focus on eating whole foods, foods that are high in protein, healthy fats, and fiber, because those are the foods that will fill us up and keep us feeling fuller longer. So we should be focusing on whole foods. That said, again, I go back to it's okay to have an occasional treat. And then I believe the second part of that question was, how do I know when I've reached my physical hunger point? Well, now, physical hunger comes on more gradually. You may notice, oh, I think I'm feeling a little bit hungry. And then it gets stronger and stronger. And physical hunger, it doesn't make you crave a comfort food. It makes you think about eating. I want to eat something healthy so that I can feel full. And as we talked about in the presentation, it is important not to ignore those hunger signals too long, because then you're so hungry that you might just grab something that's handy or walk to the vending machine instead of eating something that maybe you had prepared for lunch and brought to work with you. So it's really important to honor that hunger and eat when you are feeling hungry. Hope that answers your question well.
Yes, I'm sure it is. I will pass this information to my husband and check our shopping list, make it more whole foods, right? So it's a life practice, but day by day, I'm sure we're all improving our health habits. And there is another question. Yes, Sanavi does that too with a lot of whole food. Thank you. I love it, Nikki.
Yes, and might I add, it's really hard to overeat when you're eating good, nutritious, whole foods.
It keeps longer, full satisfaction, right? So there's another question. Probably this is our today's webinar's last question. So Shirley, it's a long question. Are you ready?
Okay.
All right. So as you mentioned, it takes about 20 minutes or longer even for our brain to realize, oh, we are full. And so eating slowly can allow this feedback to loop enough time to work. So whenever the occasion, like we take out our more time to eat more at like a family gatherings, like Chinese New Year or birthday or potluck sometimes. Like for me, I like to eat hot pot. We do take a longer time to enjoy all the foods, and especially the time with friends and families. This is the most important part for us. But how can we, enjoy the meal time together, but use the intuitive eating here, so not overeating during the hot pot time or gathering time?
Well, I really love that you're describing having dinner with your family. It's everybody's circumstances are different, but intuitive eating is a little easier to practice when you actually eat with someone else, because you're automatically slowing down, having a conversation, you're enjoying each other's company as well as the food that you're eating. So while you're enjoying each other's company, you take some time to listen to your own body. And is it telling you that you're full? And maybe that's just taking forkfuls of food more slowly, like chewing them slowly, putting your fork down, picking it up, having another forkful. Or when you're finished eating, like I know a hot pot can go on and on and on. I love hot pot. When you do realize, hey, I'm full, maybe you can just take your hot pot fork and just put it down and then just continue enjoying spending time with those that you're dining with.
Yeah, awesome. So we will prepare that, especially during the cold winter time. But thank you so much, Shelley, for your knowledge and the really practical the life skills we should implement to our daily life. And so, do you have any more questions, John?
I have one more question for the audience. But first of all, I'd just love to thank Shelley one more time and thank my co-host, Carol. Thank you, Carol, for your participation as well and your story, especially. It's such an inspiration. So, Shelley, what you were describing, some of the processes, or just talking about food in general and even how to consume it. I guess I'm conditioned. I think humans are conditioned that way. We talk food, we smell food, and it was a very interesting experience. I have a banana bread in front of me, so I started smelling the banana bread more, and I'm like, oh, well, at the end of this call, I'm going to really enjoy this food, But the question I have for the audience, what I'm going to be applying right away from this is to find a healthy distraction, right? Whenever I'm feeling like eating my emotions, I need to just divert that energy into something else. That's what I need to practice. What will you be applying immediately after this call? That is my question to the audience. You can reply in the chat as we're wrapping up, but I wanted to leave you with that question and let you think about it a little bit. And the important thing about attending a webinar like this or series like this is to come out of it with something and an actionable item. So please define that actionable item for yourself and apply it. Thank you so much for attending, and I'm sure it won't be the last of our health webinars. So stay tuned. Thank you very much.
Yeah. Thank you for all your comments on the chat box, and thank you so much, Shelley, for your time and your knowledge. And we are see each other practicing this important and the easy to go, the mindful eating, intuitive eating. Thank you, and have a good night, everyone.
Thank you, everybody.